David Tafuri is a lawyer, a former advisor to Barack Obama's presidential campaign, and he joins us tonight to assess this new addition to the Democratic primary field. Great to see you, David. So if you could summarize the skateboard candidacy of Beto O'Rourke, how would you?
Well, I'd say on the behalf of the Republicans, it's fear, because you just spent 10 minutes being sarcastic about Beto O'Rourke, as did Chris. You guys are pretty funny. You came up with some good attacks on him, and I think those are some of the attacks the Republicans will use.
Easy.
But you know, there's a super PAC in Iowa, Fund for Growth, that's already put up ads against Beto. They started last week before he even declared for president. That's because Republicans are scared of him as a candidate. Now, why are they scared? Number one reason is because he ran for Senate in Texas, which is a red state.
Wait, can I just pause really quick and say, if Republicans are afraid of him, that means that he's harmless. I mean, Republicans also thought Jeb Bush was going to be the nominee. So Republican consensus is almost never right in politics. That's not a good marker. But tell me why you think he's a great candidate. He just lost the Senate race.
As I was saying, you know, he almost won in a super red state, Texas. That means he can bring over independent voters to vote for him. No other candidate on the Democratic side has been able to show that they can do that in a red state, statewide. He also is a prodigious fundraiser. He raised $70 million for his Senate campaign. That's a record. No other candidate for Senate on either side of the aisle has ever raised that much money. That makes him a formidable candidate. Now, he doesn't have a full platform of issues.
Okay, so he's got the billionaire class behind him. Okay.
He doesn't have a full platform of issues yet?
Well, he doesn't have, he has got a tote bag and some talk about extinction, but he doesn't have really a platform at all. And so why would you announce for president before coming up with answers to the most basic questions about where the country should go?
Well, it's a good question, and I think it's a strength and a weakness for him. I mean, obviously, the weakness is he doesn't have a full platform of things he can run on, though he was a congressman for 6 years, and he did vote on lots of different legislation. But he has to now build his platform, but it can be purpose-built for 2020, aimed at the center. He's a moderate Democrat, so he can distinguish himself from the left-wing part of the party. He's going to distinguish himself from Bernie Sanders and from Elizabeth Warren, and he's going to go on that track.
No, you're supposed to be defending him, and now you're attacking him. You just said he would build his platform purpose-built for this election. In other words, he would be whatever he thinks he needs to be. He's totally as hollow as he seems. That's what you're saying.
That's not what I said.
If he believes something, why doesn't he just tell us what it is?
One of the reasons he's appealing is because voters view him as genuine. That's borne out in the election results in the Senate campaign in Texas. That's borne out in the polling as well. So he's going to build an agenda. It's going to be consistent with his own values. What I'm saying is he's not on the record on lots of different issues. So he can build it in a way that's consistent with his own values, but tracks towards the middle of America and shows a serious contrast with President Trump, whose poll numbers are still very low, historically low.
So let me ask you really quick. Oh, I think a Democrat has a shot for sure. But Beto specifically, very quick. He on camera said that we should tear down the border barriers that separate the United States from Mexico. Are you for that?
That's not what he said. He said we should tear down the wall in El Paso, where he is from, because actually the crime rate went up in El Paso after they built the wall. That's a fact.
The city on the other side, that's not, hold on, the city on the other side is one of the most dangerous places in the world.
But not El Paso.
So why would you...
But not El Paso.
Right, because there's a wall between them. Okay, so do you think we should tear down the border wall between El Paso and Juarez? Do you think
I don't. I do not think we should tear down the wall.
Because it's insane, actually.
But immigration is going to be an important issue for Beto. And what he's going to have to be able to show is that because he's from a border town and he's from a border state and he's been in local government and in Congress, that he knows how to deal with the issue of immigration. He certainly cannot be for open borders. He can't be for open borders because America's not for open borders.
Well,
but he can come up with some reasonable solutions and compromises that all of America would support, that would protect our country, but have a path for legalization for some folks who are here, like the TPS and Dreamers.
I think your average person would say tearing down the wall between El Paso and Juarez is not a mainstream position. I mean, you don't support it.
I don't support it. I agree with you.
But we'll have plenty of time to talk about this as the Beto movement continues, dude. Thank you.
Thanks, Tucker.
This deplorable, despicable human being that occupies the White House should not be there. They say, Maxine, please don't say impeachment anymore. And when they say that, I say impeachment, impeachment, impeachment.
It's just too amusing. Jonathan Harris is a Democratic political commentator, and we're happy to have him tonight. Jonathan, thanks a lot for coming on. So I guess the obvious technical, legal, constitutional question is being a, quote, despicable human being grounds for impeachment, would you say?
It should be, but it is not. No, it is not. It's high crimes and misdemeanors, definitely. And
oh, no, it's not. Okay. Just checking.
No, it should be. No, it's high crimes and misdemeanors, and I think that's what Nancy Pelosi and a lot of the top Democrats have been saying is we have to wait for the Mueller report. We have to wait and find out what is in it. And if we find out that any of those things took place, then impeachment is something that we should look at. But right now she's saying, no, it's not worth it because it's divisive.
Well, but wait. But what you just said contradicts itself. So you're saying that Democratic leaders are saying, let's wait for the report and find out what's in it, then we'll decide whether that constitutes a high crime or a misdemeanor.
Right.
But you also just said correctly that they're saying even before we've seen the report that, no, we shouldn't impeach. Why are they preemptively judging the Mueller report? I thought the whole lie they've been telling us for 2 years is wait and see. Why are they not sticking with that lie?
No. What I was saying was, and maybe I didn't say, I'll say it again. What they're saying is right now, there's no reason for impeachment because we don't have the Mueller report. Once we get the Mueller report, if we see that there are high crimes and misdemeanors, then that's something that we should discuss. But right now, we don't have the information. Multiple Democratic reps have said the same thing. We don't have enough to know right now if there are grounds for impeachment. We have to wait for the Mueller report.
So if we don't have it, I mean, obviously colluding with a foreign power to subvert an election would be a high crime misdemeanor by anyone's definition,
Definitely.
Framers included. And they've been alleging that Trump is guilty of that for 2.5 years. Now they're conceding he's not guilty of that.
They're not
Shouldn't
conceding.
they apologize for their reckless? Well, there's
no concession.
Yeah, they are. They're conceding. We don't have.
No.
Yes, there is. Because yes. Well, let me just finish the sentence. Because they're conceding they don't have the evidence that their initial claims were true. So they got way out over what they knew to be true, made these reckless claims, scared the hell out of America, and now 2.5 years later they can't prove it. So shouldn't they just apologize? Ashes and sackcloth. We were wrong. We are completely irresponsible, and we're sorry, America.
That's absolutely not what that's not what they've done at all. What they said, they're not backing off, they're not conceding. They said right now it's not worth it. We don't have evidence to support that yet. We're waiting for the conclusion of the Mueller report. When we get the Mueller report, then we'll know for sure. That's not a concession. That's not saying that he didn't conspire with a foreign power.
But actually, so what I'm going to do when the Mueller report comes out, and I'm sure it'll allege all kinds of things. I doubt it will allege collusion because I don't think there's any evidence that happened. But when that comes out, we're going to play, I don't know, maybe 40 minutes of tape, not just of fringe characters like Maxine Waters, but of Democratic leaders like the Speaker of the House and the head of the Intel Committee saying there was collusion. There was a betrayal of the United States of America. There was a subversion of our democracy. They made those claims. They haven't been able to prove them. Shouldn't they say, I'm sorry we overstated what we knew?
I think the claims have been that it is their feeling, based on the intelligence reports, based on the intelligence agencies, multiple of them, that say that this is what Putin wanted, this is what was going on, that was their feeling based on the information that they had. Nobody pretended to be a psychic and knew what the Mueller report would be. We have to wait. But based on the evidence that they have, I mean, Trump did ask Russia to hack Hillary Clinton's server at a campaign rally in front of the entire country. I mean, it's not like it's that far.
It was secret communique with the Russians at a campaign.
It's not that far-fetched.
So what they're arguing is he committed treason, but we can't impeach him.
Absolutely not.
He committed treason, but we can't impeach him.
That's not what they're saying at all. They said, wait for the report.
He was sending secret messages to the Russians.
You said that. I did not say that. You said that.
Okay, I thought
I did not say that.
I'm losing track, but I hope you'll come back when the report comes out and we can talk it through in loving detail.
I'd be glad to say it again.
Wait.
I'd be glad to say it again. Thanks, Tucker. Bye. Good to see you too.
Joins us tonight, and first we want to give him a victory lap. He is Nate Lerner. He's one of the people who convinced Beto O'Rourke to jump in the race, co-founded draftbeto.org. So congratulations to you, Nate Lerner, by the way, sincerely, that it worked. And by the way, as rollouts go, it was better than Howard Schultz's, that's for sure, and better than Amy Klobuchar's. But it does raise some questions, just who he is, because identity, of course, is the core of the Democratic Party. You have all kinds of capable female candidates, and you have all kinds of capable candidates of color. And here's this rich white guy who elbows his way to the front and says, shh, let me talk. Is that really the face of the modern Democratic Party? I didn't think it was.
Well, the whole point of the party is, we're the Rainbow Coalition. We have many faces. And what we want to celebrate right now is all the great candidates we have, all on full display, and especially in contrast to the Republicans that ran in 2016. It's quite a strong contrast and reflects very strongly in what our party represents, what we're about. And I think with Beto, what you have is someone who is an inspirational figure who's going to unite people And that's what our party wants more
Right.
than anything. And that's why I think he's going to be the front runner and will eventually win.
So it needs to be a rich white guy to unite your party? I kind of thought you'd move beyond that. I thought it was the Progressive Party. What's wrong with Kamala Harris?
It can be anybody. The point is that we have these strong candidates competing from all different walks of life, from all different backgrounds, and then we celebrate that fact, and then we look at those candidates and say, okay, which one is going to represent our values, which one is going to unite the party, unite the country, and be an inspirational figure. And I think all the candidates in their own way do that very well, but the one for me who stands out the most is Beto. And that's why I'm supporting him.
But it's just kind of weird because every time I watch CNN or MSNBC, they're always looking at the Republican field and saying, white guys, white, and that's obviously, a cursed category. Like, you don't want to be a white guy. That's bad, according to the Democratic Party. So why would they even run a white guy? And I'm asking sincerely, why would they? It's kind of insulting, isn't it?
So the problem is when you have, the Republican Party is a great example. When you look at pictures of Paul Ryan's interns and it's all, a bunch of white guys, that's not a great look. Same thing with the Republican Party in
it's not a great
2016. When it's the Republican Party in 2016, it's all a bunch of white guys. You look at Congress 10 years ago, it's all old white men.
Yeah,
that's
bad,
not our country. That doesn't make sense. You want people that are reflective of the people and the values.
Then why are you backing the white guy? Why are you pushing in a field that's as diverse as the Democratic field is for the one young rich white guy with a fake name to jump in front of everybody else? Why wouldn't you say, hey, Beto, wait your turn? Why are you pushing the white guy if you're against white guys?
So first of all, what we want is a party that reflects all of us. And once we get to that point, we can then look at all the candidates and say, okay, which one is going to then be our standard bearer? And so I love the fact that we have the candidates running that we do, and I want them all to run. And I would be more than happy to call any one of them my president. No, I would be very okay with Kamala Harris, with Elizabeth Warren, with Bernie Sanders, with Cory Booker.
Well,
I just happen to prefer Beto a bit more.
White guy too. Okay, but wait a second. If you really believe that the Republican Party is bad because it's dominated by white guys, you have a choice of who to support. I'm not being mean or anything.
No,
by the way, let me just be
I
totally
understand.
clear. I think these criteria are insane and racist, and so I'm just reading Democratic Party talking points here. I don't believe them. I think they're crazy. But your party does believe them. And so I just wonder why you wouldn't personally strike a blow for diversity by supporting Cory Booker. I mean, obviously, he's a totally fraudulent
We've already
person,
struck a blow for
but
diversity,
wouldn't you support him anyway?
We've already struck a blow for diversity with just the candidates that we have running. And now it's about saying, okay, great, we have all these great candidates. Let's, we're not going to make identity our sole issue. There's a lot of other issues on the table to consider.
So
and
it's
obviously
enough
for
that
me
they
personally,
run. It's enough that they run. You just don't want them to win. I get it. No, I think I totally get it. So
I would
want to be able
love
to have them
the
on the
first female
stage for
president
the
be a
picture,
Democrat.
but you don't want them to win. Okay.
I would be more than happy with them winning. I just happen to prefer Beto a bit more to some of them. But I would be more than happy to call any of them my president.
It kind of seems like the message you're sending. Do you think men are better leaders? That seems like the message you're sending, because it seems like you've got a really
I think Beto is a better fit for this time for our country. I think if you look at his message of unity, his ability to connect with voters from all walks of life, his ability to inspire, and his ability to beat Trump. For me, that's what matters, and that's why I'm supporting him. That's not to disparage any of the other candidates running in any way. I just happen to like him for those reasons. It's very simple.
Okay, so I've been mean to you for a reason. I don't mean it personally. Everything you said is totally fair. I'm just being honest with you. But don't you see how this identity politics garbage is a dead end, and it's deadening to the brain? And you really should support a candidate based on the qualities that you just explained, like the best candidate. Doesn't matter what color he is.
I think
kind of look at revulsion? Aren't you repelled by your party's obsession with race and gender now?
I think anytime you get to the extreme in any position, it gets dangerous. If you look at the extreme opposite of identity politics, that's dangerous. If you look at extreme versions of identity politics, that's dangerous as well. Anytime you get into a radical position, then you see how you start walking a dangerous line. But there is an inherent value in identity politics.
The extreme opposite of identity politics
is the Republican Party.
Inequality. No, it's equality, which is the goal.
I think it's no. I think it's allowing.
Okay.
I think it's allowing for our current system to continue to push down minorities and those who are at a disadvantage.
By
we want to
letting
elevate
the one
everyone
white
to
guy
equal.
in the
We
field
want
jump to the front of everyone else. Okay. Now I'm against you. Now I was for you, but now I'm actively voting for Cory Booker just because I want diversity in your party. Nate, thank you very much. And go.
Thanks for having me on.
Thanks.